In March 2009, the S&P 500 closed at just 676 points. The financial world felt like it was ending. Lehman Brothers had collapsed only 6 months earlier. Retirement accounts were cut in half. Headlines screamed that this was the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. Most people were terrified, but a school teacher named Margaret did something that seemed completely insane at the time. She took $50,000 she had been saving for a house down payment and invested it into a simple S&P 500 index fund. Her friends thought she had lost her mind. Her family begged her to wait until things became safer. Margaret ignored everyone. Today, that same $50,000 investment is worth nearly $600,000. She didn't pick individual stocks. She didn't time the market perfectly. She didn't have insider information. She simply recognized something rare. A once-in-a-generation moment when fear creates life-changing opportunity. And most people don't realize we are living through another moment like that right now, but this time it may be even bigger. Not because of a market crash, but because of something called the Great Wealth Transfer. And the number behind it is almost unbelievable. $124 trillion. Yes, trillion. Over the next 2 decades, approximately $124 trillion will change hands in the United States. This is the largest transfer of wealth in human history. Nothing even comes close. Today, I'll show you exactly what's happening, why this moment could create millions of new millionaires, and how ordinary people, not just the rich, can position themselves to benefit. Because history is repeating itself, and those who understand it early win. Let's begin. After the 2009 crash, the stock market didn't just recover, it exploded. From March 2009 to early 2026, the S&P 500 rose more than 900%. A $100 investment became nearly $1,000. But the people who benefited the most were not hedge fund managers or Wall Street elites. They were teachers, nurses, accountants, small business owners, ordinary people who simply kept investing through their 401ks, IRAs, and index funds while everyone else panicked. The results were extraordinary. In 2010, the United States had around 8 million millionaire households. By the end of 2024, that number had nearly tripled to almost 24 million. That means over 15 million new millionaire households were created in just 14 years. Think about that. That's like the entire population of New York City becoming millionaires. And most of them didn't do anything dramatic. They stayed invested. They remained patient. They let time do the work. Now something even bigger is starting. Baby boomers, those born between 1946 and 1964, currently control more wealth than any generation in history. Roughly 52% of all wealth in America. That's about $78 trillion. And over the next 20 to 25 years, that wealth will move to children, to grandchildren, to charities, to businesses, to markets, to the economy itself. According to recent research, about $124 trillion will transfer by 2048. This is not a theory. It is already happening. The oldest boomers are nearing 80. The youngest are entering their 60s. The transfer has begun. Generation X is expected to inherit around $39 trillion. Millennials around $46 trillion. Even Gen Z will eventually receive major benefits. But here's the part most people misunderstand. The opportunity is not just inheritance. In fact, for most people, inheritance alone will not be life-changing, because most of the wealth is highly concentrated among a small number of wealthy families. The real opportunity is what happens when all that money starts moving. Because money never sits still. It gets invested, it gets spent, it gets deployed into real estate, businesses, stocks, and new opportunities. That movement creates ripple effects across the entire economy. And that is where regular people can win. When trillions flow into investments, asset prices rise. When heirs buy homes, real estate values increase. When inherited capital funds businesses, jobs grow. When wealth moves, opportunity expands. This is exactly how millionaire classes are created. Not through lottery tickets, not through luck, through positioning. The same way people who stayed invested after 2009 quietly became wealthy. Now let's talk about how this changes investing. Younger generations do not invest like baby boomers. Boomers love traditional blue-chip stocks and bonds. Millennials and Gen Z think differently. They prefer technology, artificial intelligence, clean energy, healthcare innovation, digital assets, private businesses, alternative investments. This matters because trillions of dollars will follow these preferences. Where capital flows, opportunity follows. That doesn't mean you need to gamble on risky assets. It means you need to understand where the future is going. Broad index funds remain powerful, but recognizing the direction of generational money matters. Artificial intelligence is already reshaping markets. Companies building the infrastructure behind AI are seeing enormous capital flows. The same is happening in energy, biotech, and digital finance. The transfer of wealth will accelerate these trends. Real estate will also be transformed. Some markets will boom, others may slow down. As inherited homes hit the market, some retirement-heavy regions may see more supply. Meanwhile, cities attracting younger professionals may see stronger demand and rising prices. Where you live could matter as much as how much you invest. Geography becomes strategy. Now let me tell you the most important lesson. The best strategy is still the simplest one. Stay invested. That school teacher Margaret didn't need a genius strategy. She needed discipline. Someone who invested just $500 per month into an S&P 500 index fund starting in 2009 could have built over $250,000 by early 2026. No magic, no perfect timing, just consistency. And yes, there were scary moments. The debt crisis, the pandemic crash, the 2022 bear market, inflation fears, recession headlines. At every point people said it was over, and at every point those who stayed invested won. Because wealth creation rarely feels comfortable while it's happening. It feels uncertain, messy, scary. That's exactly why most people miss it. They wait for certainty. But certainty usually arrives after the opportunity is gone. That's why timing matters less than participation. People always ask, when should I invest? But nobody knew March 2009 was the bottom while it was happening, and nobody knows the perfect entry point today. The great wealth transfer is not a single moment. It is a 25-year process. It has already started. Waiting means missing years of compounding. The best time to start was years ago. The second best time is now. So what should you actually do? First, maximize tax-advantaged accounts. Your 401k, your IRA, your HSA if eligible. These accounts allow wealth to grow without constant tax drag. Second, maintain exposure to broad equity markets. Low-cost index funds remain one of the most powerful tools ever created for ordinary investors. You do not need to predict the future. You need to participate in it. Third, build cash reserves. Opportunities always appear during moments of panic. Cash gives you the ability to act when others are forced to sell. Fourth, develop valuable skills. Estate planning, financial advising, real estate, tax strategy, wealth management. Entire industries will grow around this transfer of wealth. Being close to money movement creates opportunity. Fifth, think in decades, not months. This is not about next quarter. This is about the next 20 years. That mindset changes everything. And finally, have real conversations with family. Understand inheritance plans, create estate plans, prepare instead of avoiding uncomfortable discussions. Because wealth is transferred best with clarity, not confusion. History shows this pattern again and again. After World War II, millions became wealthy through housing and business growth. From the 1980s to 2000, the stock market created another wave of millionaires. From 2009 to 2026, patient investors quietly built enormous wealth. Now comes the next chapter, $100 to $24 trillion, the largest wealth transfer in human history. Millions of new millionaires will be created, not because they are smarter, not because they are lucky, because they were positioned. The teacher Margaret didn't know in 2009 that she was living through a historic opportunity. She simply acted when others were frozen by fear. Today we have a different opportunity. But the principle is the same. Trillions are moving. Wealth is changing hands. History is being written. And the question is simple. Will you be ready for it? Because years from now, people will look back at this moment and realize, this was the time everything changed. The only question is, will it change for you?